dive deep in that shit. It's all in there. All the energy and fuel you need is right in yourself. It's all there. You got a lot of stuff to do to overcome. What started happening is as you get bigger, as you get more successful, you open the door for people to critique every fucking thing. And most of the people who are critiquing you usually aren't where you are. And all the critiquing comes from people who are really at a low level of life, which is sad. But what we do, people who are on the upper level, they are at the low level. Like I said, you never meet a head do better than you. True statement. Start having fun with it. One of the best parts of this is open-minded to the right people. But I don't respect a lot of people. So how am I going to respect you? Not you personally, but anybody, if you're not fucking crying. And I've been working out, getting to the gym, really going out there and grinding. So if you don't know how I'm living my life, how am I going to expect you? So you have to be a hard worker, period, done. You gotta work your fucking ass. That's why I get respect for you. There is no get out of jail free card. This is why I say stay hard. Because when you are given the gifts, the only thing you can do in life is stay hard. And I know people cannot stand it. They can't stand this talk. This is all you can do. There's no magic pill or a magic potion. All you can do is outwork the man that God created or woman in you. The biggest purpose of life and all that shit is how you respect yourself. How you look at yourself. That's an everyday fucking journey. So every day you should be getting after it. We look at determination, self-discipline. We look at hard work. All these terms almost like we tread them. It's like a fucking punishment. Those are the biggest words of all time as far as respecting yourself. So look at this dread and punishment. Look at those words as a lifestyle. Stay hard. God gives you a shovel. And says, man, start digging. That's not fun. But when you dig your own path to all kind of stuff that's unknown. And that's when I started realizing, man, like on the other end of this is some beautiful stuff. So I got outside my box and I'm like, man, 300 pounds, now look at me, I'm burning 85 pounds. And on the other side of the box was all this stuff. And I know it was over there until I climbed the wall. It's on.
So what wall are you climbing now?
Man, right now, I've climbed a lot of walls. There's no more walls anymore. The reason why is because I know how to climb. And you have to live that way. You have to live in the grind life. I'm not saying live the hard times of life. Work out every day. Better yourself every day. Suffer. I come from hell. And a lot of it I created. Not just society. Yeah, society helped me out. But I created a lot of the hell that I had to go through. I made this picture out to be a lot worse than what it was. It's bad, but I made it out to be, insurmountable. So, yeah, maybe I work with it. People love to bitch and complain about everything. So when you sit there, you may spend weeks, months, years bitching about the same thing. It's really done. I think you have to have the truth to have a starting point. So if I'm lying about who I am, I'm lying about whatever, there's no starting point. There's a false reality. You have to create the real reality. So I call it my accountability mirror in my book. That's the real reality. Where the f am I going to start from? So for me, I was lying to this, lying about that. So I had no starting point. Once you come face to face with who you are, you have a starting point. All right? I'm not real smart. I have no courage. I have no self-esteem. I have no nothing. Nothing. That's my starting point. Now we can move from there. If I tell myself I'm strong, I have courage, I'm smart, and all these are lies, you continuously push that starting point backwards. So that starting point is the truth. The no, bullshit truth that only you can tell yourself. So it's the starting point. The truth is the starting point. The only way I became successful was going towards the truth. As painful, as brutal as it is, it changed me. It allowed me to become in my own right, when that, it's easy for me to sit back and say, you know what? Fuck the past mentality. I want to sit back and let the world take care of me now. And that's what I'm talking about. Don't play sick too long. When my childhood was so messed up, I played sick way too long, and I almost lost tons of opportunities by playing sick. Because it feels good to play sick. My dad can shut up, man. I couldn't read. I can't read. You know? When I was in junior high school, I couldn't read. It feels good for people that make us to stay. It's not for sport. You had a bad life. You can get out of jail free card. That's not us. Some do what I had to get here today. That was not fun. That darkness is not, there's nothing that dark to drive me to the place I had to go. You have to realize that. You have to realize, well, there's people out there like David Goggins. Yeah. Nothing. Nothing. And I've had all this opportunity, and I'm a loser. I'm not shit. So we're going to say about me. The conversations are very similar. You have all this opportunity, and you've gone nowhere with it. Oh, I'm at the bottom of the barrel, and it can take me a lot longer to get where you're at for the start line, to be fair. Are you accountable for what you're doing? Are you accountable? Not even to the T for what you're saying. I am. And that's where it starts. It starts with that total. Let's stop fighting there. Let's tell people the truth about who you are. If you can get on and tell something like I'm doing right now, exactly how what people want to know, that's the goal in life. To put your life on a billboard, on the busiest road, in the busiest highway in the world. Say, this is how I used to be. Take care of it. Who I am and who I say I am. No more lies. No more spiritual truth. No more bullshit. And that is worth every dime I've ever made in my life. I invented it, mother. I actually sat back. I was fat, nasty, out of shape, miserable, and created a human being in my mind that didn't even exist. And said, that's what I want to be. I want to be that guy. I want to be the guy that's capable of doing exactly what he did. And you have to, if you are born that guy, that mentally strong guy, he can't be made. Woman, man, whatever you are. It can't be made. But in making that person, you have to turn down things. You have to be who you are every day of your life. And never care about anybody who gets in your way that says you're not doing something the proper way. I was always afraid of people not wanting to think. When you get beat as fast as I did, I lied all the time. I wanted to be accepted and loved and all that shit that I created about 50 people. Wherever you like it, I like it. Just be my friend. Just be my friend. And that's when we get lost in life. We all have two people. We all have two people. Now, I'm not saying you're crazy. We have the easy voice, which is that 20% telling yourself that I'm easy at 90% of my full potential, maybe 100% at that 20%. That's that voice that we all love. That's that very comfortable voice that's that mom holding me saying, it's going to be okay. Doesn't care how good you are, just loves you. Just loves you no matter how messed up you are in life. That's where you want to be at. So that's that one voice. This other voice that we walk very far away from is a voice saying, hey man, you ain't doing shit. So we try to get this voice out of our head completely. And we live over here in this land. So what you have to do first is turn up this voice over here. The voice saying things to you that aren't nice. That it's in our head. Say, you know what, man? Dude, you're not shit. You're not. I mean, it's not putting yourself down. People take this the wrong way in this new society. I'm not saying to put yourself down. I'm saying listen to the truth. And the truth isn't in the 20%. The truth is in this other part of your brain saying, look, man, You're wasting a bunch of percentage here. We have 80% that we're not tapping into. In this other 80% is suffering, pain, failure, self-doubt, darkness. And then a whole bunch of other. But to get to this light, you gotta go through all of this shit. So a lot of us know that. We know, get over here. But over here, man, this is much better. Because I gotta go through this journey that is not fun. This from 20 to 100%, that shit in between is not fun. So we decided to live over here. So everybody goes, how do we do that? You know exactly how to do it. You know exactly. It's not a magic trick. There's nothing I talk about in that book that's a magic trick. It's all back down to a very primitive mindset. We just have to do. It's like breathing. Breathing becomes normal. Like, you don't know that we're doing it. That's how you have to live your life. But now alarm clock goes off at 4 or 5 in the morning, your mind says no. You just say, this is what we do. It's what we do now. Because to get to where you want to go, the amount of pain involved, I'm not saying physical, I'm not saying you got to break yourself off, the amount of mental pain of how many times you're going to have to do something that you don't want to do to get to where you want to go. Is going to be, there's going to be more times you do something that you don't want to do than you are going to want to do. And that's your new norm. That's your new norm. So then it's like breathing. And then once you do this over and over and over again, it becomes like breathing. I don't want to live this lifestyle, but to get to the other side of this, I have to. So if you really want it, you realize what trying is and what trying is not. 2 hours ago, I ain't got nobody. That's where the shit comes from. I ain't got nobody to push this level. That's my darkness. That's why I'm rather these motherfuckers think they fucking know me. You think you know me coming to my dungeon? It's a lonely dungeon because you're going through shit every day. Treating this hard by yourself? Come on, man. This is. You see me breathing heavy? Exactly. So imagine the little light going through. Yeah, I was alone on this earth. I have nothing on this earth. I have to fix everything. You can achieve a lot of shit. You get off your ass, you start moving. You start motivating yourself. Start becoming self-motivated. Sometimes your motivation needs to be because no one else wants to fucking do it. We need doctors. We need fucking lawyers. We need dentists. We need teachers. We also need fucking savages. This message I do is not for fucking everybody. Someone see that soft bullshit about, do you have sunscreen on? This message is dangerous. It's too hot. I'm not asking you to fucking be like me. Do you? I'm good. You ain't good, man. You ain't never fucking arrived. And that's just my mentality. You may have more, but you never fucking arrived. You want to be uncommon amongst uncommon people. Period. No one knows the real truth about how hard I do stuff. I don't care if anybody knows. I don't want anybody. I'm an introvert. I live an introverted life. And I love that about me. And that right there is my truth. I didn't have a motherfucker come wake me up at 3 o'clock in the fucking morning and say, hey, you gotta get your shit in. I had no trainer. I didn't have a nutritionist. It was this self-discipline that I had to survive, to not survive, so I was weak, to thrive. You're alone. You're alone. You may have a shrink you're going to, you may have a best friend you're going to, but there's 24 hours in a day you're alone in this brain. And your brain is talking to you in all kinds of ways. And it wants to control you and pull you to the pockets. If you can't control your own brain and your brain controls you, you're fucked. You gotta tell your brain where you want to go and how you want to go and how you want to get there. You gotta control it. If not, it's over. You have to live in your own fucking world. You cannot judge yourself. That's why social media and all these things are horrible. You can't judge yourself off of the so-called competition that we have made up in our mind. The things that, how people look, how people act, how smart someone is. This is a race that you run completely alone. And you're all by yourself. Life created this person, me. Life created me to be this fucked up person person I was back in the day. And I had to realize, man, that's okay, man. It's not my fault. Now I gotta go back and fix this shit, though. So a lot of this isn't your fault, why you do some things you do, why you feel the way you feel. But no one's coming back to save your ass. You have to go back to where the shit started, wherever that place is for everybody, and have the courage to go back there and start fixing what broke you. The most important conversation you ever have is the one you have with yourself. You wake up with it, you walk around with it, eventually you'll act on it. As you all know, it's a hot motherfucker. Nice heat wave. Mother Nature's a pissed off motherfucker, but guess what? So am I. So who gives a fuck? And this is when your mind has to fucking change. You gotta start thinking, I'm the greediest motherfucker in the world. Your dehydration? Fucking lick your motherfucking lips. Your fucking legs are all sore. You feel like you got shins in places, stress fractures. No, you don't. You got sore fucking legs. You gotta make this thing hard. Who on this fucking earth can still be going right now? You are. You are. You gotta be the hardest motherfucker on the planet. Is it true? I don't give a fuck. There's no whistle blow in my life. So many people on plane. Let me grab the opportunity I can. Be different. Hey, I'm not crazy. I'm just not you. The only way you're ever going to get to the other side of this journey is you have got to suffer to grow. To grow, you must suffer. The brain is starting to get hard. The brain is starting to get hard. I'm no longer a theorist. I'm now a practitioner. I put it in hell. I dissected it while it's in hell. Because you can't dissect anything in a normal environment. You can't dissect anything in 72-degree weather. You must put it in the fucking freezer and freeze the fuck out of it. And then you dissect it. Dissect it when it's miserable. Dissect the brain when all it's thinking about is, I need to get out of here, man. I want to get out of the fucking freezer. Open the door. And he said, nah, 5 more seconds, man. 5 more seconds in the freezer. And that's when you start to pick that brain apart. And that's what all this stuff did to me. I kept on putting myself back into the freezer or the fire and beating the shit out of myself. You are your own hero. You are your own leader. You are your own mentor. And that is a big one because we idolize so many people. And we want to be them. We want to be someone else. And in doing that, you lose all the potential of who you are. You mimic. You be them. You are them. You become them. And you lose you. A lot of these motivational people come out here and give you motivational words. It fires you up, right? Yeah. What should fire you up is to see in my fucking ass. I myself do what I preach about. And ain't nobody watching. You guys just happen to see me. Does that make sense? That makes perfect sense. It's about doing, my friend, and about talking. If you want to be great, you want to be the baddest motherfucker ever at what you do, you're going to be misunderstood by everybody. Because you're going to be so fucking obsessed and so driven to get there. That's what it takes. That's true. It takes every second of your fucking life. Anybody said balance? If you want to push harder, know this. Your mind quits way before your body does. So you have to be willing to go way into that darkness and find more of yourself. You live uncomfortable to gain growth. You have to have friction in your life to gain growth. You're going to have to suffer, man. 0.25 minutes, man, you're gonna have to suffer to go from this fat, insecure money to one of the best guys on the planet Earth. This journey is gonna take something that is gonna be incomprehensible to most people. And these different visualizations, how I visualize them in my self-talk, it became so nasty and dirty that I was like to back that 0.25. So it became from being defeated to like, man, maybe want to go 0.75. You know, it just became this different mindset. I turned negatives into positives. So I would take like, who would even think about doing this? So I would sit on my couch saying, who at 297, who can't swim that great, who's scared of water, we have the balls. We have the balls to man up, quit a job, and go and put everything on himself. So it's how I started talking to myself. And put myself in a whole different category. That would fuel me the next day. I just kept using that as fuel and fuel. No one would do this shit. going through this shit. Hit the basketball, right out, hit the basketball, live. And I just kept fueling me with the right kind of message that I needed to hear that I was never telling myself. And through time, it became reality to myself. A lot of us don't know of a whole other world that exists. It's on the other side of suffering. Once you break these barriers that you have made for yourself, like the mind is the most powerful thing in the world. It is so amazing that I used to be a 300-pound guy, and I thought that was it. Could barely read, could do anything, and now, that what was inside that person was this guy that's in front of you today. That's how scary the mind is. And that's what I started realizing through this journey, is that once I got a taste of, wow, man, I haven't even begun to crack what the mind is capable of. And I started realizing this, on the other end of suffering, that's the real growth of life. Because you realize how the mind processes shit. And I talk about another thing called theory and practice. A lot of people are theorists. These smart guys that read these books and shit, man, and they sit down and tell you what the mind is supposed to do. And a lot of us listen to that shit. It becomes like, this is it, man. This old man who has been studying the mind forever, this is the cap that we have. By being a practitioner, I went out and realized a lot of these guys are so wrong, man. The mind has capabilities that are so unknown, and I found that through suffering. And there's a whole other world on the other end of that. I became the most obsessed person on the planet Earth. And I was basically had to invent a God that didn't exist. I had to invent a God that can take any pain, any suffering, any kind of judgment, and be called whatever in the world and give a standard when you say, go for yourself. I had to build this callous mind, and I built it through suffering. I built it through downright just crushing myself. If it was raining outside, 3 o'clock in the morning, if it was snowing, the first instinct is don't go out there and do shit. My instinct was, we gotta go out there. Anything that was horrible in my life that I would normally say no, that was inhumane in most people, I had to go do it. And I started callousing my mind at this point in my life. And I lost the weight. I taught myself everything my whole life. I'm not a theorist, people. There's a bunch of people who are theorists who go to the library and study the mind. They study it in a book. I studied it by being a practitioner. I put my mind in hell, and I realized how I was thinking. And I figured out tools and tactics on how to get through it. By being in it, not by studying it, by being in it. And literally, that's how I started callousing over and over. So I did 67,000 pull-ups in 9 months, and it calloused my hands. It calloused my hands to protect my hands against the bar. I started learning how to callous my mind and callous over my victim's mentality. And that's what I did. One thing important is that we all have these moments in time that either make you or break you, that can determine the rest of your life. The rest of your life can be determined by one simple decision. 19 years ago, 300 pounds, I was training for concourse, I made a decision to try to be a Navy SEAL. My whole goal was to go on this path every day after work and to run a mile to a mile and a half. This rock was about the 0.5 mark in my run. This rock was a moment that should have broken me. I got 0.5 into it, I weighed 297 pounds, I sat on this rock, and I had a decision to make. I wanted to quit. I wanted to give up. It wasn't some inspirational quote, it wasn't nothing. It was me, myself, and it was freezing out here. I had to make a decision. The decision I made was to get up and keep on going. That one moment changed the rest of my life. Through discipline, through self-discipline, through repetition, through tons of repetition of the same thing that you don't want to do. That's the key thing. Through repetition of things you don't want to do, you develop mental, like an armor for your mind. You start to armor your mind. And I was like, okay, we suffer every day. That's what we do. We do stuff that sucks every day. So then when the suck stuff comes, you're ready for it. Now I was 297 pounds. And I was fat as hell trying to be a Navy SEAL. The scariest thing in the world to me, even to this day, was that could have been the rest of my life. I thought then I was trying hard. That's the scariest thing in the world. I thought then, 297 pounds, Ecolab, spray for cockroaches, making $1,000 a month. I thought that was me at my 100% potential. Come to find out, a few years later, I wasn't anywhere near that. 106 pounds less, graduated Navy SEAL training, do all these other things. Looking back on that, that was me trying hard. That's why people gotta understand what is in us. We have no idea until we start trying hard. And I mean really trying hard when you're obsessed with, hey, this is my new norm. My new norm is that, wow, this isn't always fun. It's not always meant to be fun. And that's when you know you're trying hard. I have this haunting voice in the back of my head. A lot of us have it. We just ignore it. And it was there for years. So I knew in the back of my mind that I could pull off this, whatever. But I was afraid of the work. Because I wasn't gifted with brains. I wasn't gifted with God-given talent as far as like athleticism. So I knew to get to where I had to go, to be in the same playing field as these men, to even try out for this program, I knew the work was going to be something that I didn't want to even attack. So I was putting it off. But yet you did it. Because it haunted me. The voice in my head said, you know what, man, you're going to die never even trying to reach your full potential. Now, how's that going to feel? So you have to be a hard worker, period of time. You got to work your ass off. Because every day, I wake up out of my bed, and there's my shoes. Shirt or shorts. Depending on the weather. And some days I wake up, nice quick in the morning. For hours. And then I start walking down the path. And I said, I'm not doing shit today. Now, I don't have to. I did all this shit. I did all this shit. I went through all this all week. Got my ass kicked all the time. Later, I do the shit more. That's what I think. I got 2.3 million followers. Say about you. Say about you were radio school, getting B as a kid and shit. You have an obligation, not to yourself, but to everybody out there that is touched by what you do as a human being. While nobody knows what I'm doing, no one is videoing me and shit. I am a virtual trainer mentally. Because there's a lot of people out there saying, man, David Goggins. And if I wake up one morning and don't do that, I go back to that David Goggins who lied about being a winner. So my thing that keeps me going every day is my mission in life. Wow, I did not choose it. I'm the ancient bird now. Hey, we're doing even right now. Is to always stay the course. You man there your life. Because you know exactly what it is to not man up. I've done that too many times in my life. So that's what keeps me going. Go back to a spot that's not so fucking comfortable for you. What did you do today to get you comfortable? What did you do today to earn that man? I wasn't born this motherfucker. I made him. At the bottom of insecurity, fear, self-doubt. So I knew in the back of my mind that I could pull off this, whatever. But I was afraid of the work. Because I wasn't gifted with brains. I wasn't gifted with God-given talent as far as like athleticism. So I knew to get to where I had to go, to be in the same playing field as these men, to even try out for this program, I knew the work was going to be something that I didn't want to even attack. So I was putting it off. Because it haunted me. The voice in my head said, no, man, you're going to die. Never even try to reach your potential. And how's that going to feel? So you have to be a hard worker, period of time. You got to work your ass. Because every day, I wake up, I'm up, and weather. Some days I wake up and I still get one. But powerless. And I start walking down the path. I said, I ain't running there. I'm this shit, man. Nothing, I'll have to. And did all that shit. I did all this shit. I did all this 7 weeks. Got my ass kicked all the time. Like, I do this shit. That's what I think. You have 2.3 million followers. Say about you. Say about you or raising schools, getting beat as a kid and shit. You have an obligation, not to yourself, but to everybody out there that is touched by what you do as a human being. While nobody knows what I'm doing, no one is videoing me and shit. I am a virtual trainer mentally. Because there's a lot of people out there saying, man, David Goggins. And if I wake up one morning and don't want to do that, I go back to that David Goggins who lied about being weaker. So my thing that keeps me going every day is my mission in life. Wow, I did not choose it. I'm an introvert. I'm doing right now. Is to always stay man every day of your life. Because you know exactly what it is to not man up. I've done that too many times in my life. So that's what keeps me moving. So go back to a spot that's not so fucking comfortable. What did you do today to get uncomfortable? What did you do today to run that man? I wasn't born this motherfucker. I made him. At the bottom of insecurities, fear, self-doubt, lies, was me buried in the fucking fetal position. How I got out of that was recognizing, being honest with it, being truthful with it, and then fixing it. We have to live on social media, lies about ourselves, how great we are, get to the source, and fix the problem. What is making you a quitter? What is making you a weak man? What is making you afraid? And so that's why I kept on pleading, going back to Star Wars, not knowing how to get through hard times. And that's why I was telling you, I'm not a theorist. I didn't study, I didn't study a fucking book. I literally put myself in a fire, repeatedly like a sword. You put a sword in the fire, repeatedly. If you keep on doing that, you're gonna get a nice sword. A lot of people say that nothing's impossible. Shit, I even said that nothing's impossible several times in my life. I lied. A lot of things are impossible for you to do. What happens is, when we come across something that's very hard, and we try it once, maybe twice, and then say, we're done, can't do it anymore. Before you say something's impossible, do it and do it and do it to a level that people think that you might be fucking crazy until you say it's impossible. Go out there and run a couple minutes a day, bike, do some exercises, just get in shape. Through discipline, through self-discipline, through repetition, through tons of repetition of the same thing that you don't want to do. That's to start with, not knowing how to get through hard times. And that's what I was telling you, I'm not a theorist. I didn't study, I didn't study a fucking book. I literally put myself in a fire, repeatedly like a sword. You put a sword in the fire, repeatedly, if you keep on doing that, you're gonna get a nice sword. A lot of people say that nothing's impossible. Shit, I even said that nothing's impossible several times in my life. I lied. A lot of things are impossible for you to do. What happens is, when we come across something that's very hard, and we try it once, maybe twice, we're gonna say, we're done, we can't do it anymore. Before you say something's impossible, do it and do it and do it to a level that people think that you might be fucking crazy until you say it's impossible. Go out there and run a couple minutes a day, bike, do some exercises, just get in shape. Through discipline, through self-discipline, through repetition, through tons of repetition of the same thing that you don't want to do. That's the key thing. Through repetition of things you don't want to do, you develop mental, like an armor for your mind. Start to armor your mind. Your mind's like, okay, we suffer every day. That's what we do. stuff that sucks every day. So then the suck stuff comes. You're ready for it. Let me tell you one thing. Time is running out. Keep on sitting around wondering what the fuck you want to do. You're just gonna run out of time. So make sure you do one thing. Stop following the fucking crowd. That may take time off, but you can't afford to. Stay hard. I was that guy who grinded. I grinded hard. I mean, I grinded hard. I was that guy who was like, if we went on an op or we had a workup, let's say we had a workup, we're in Ireland, we're out there shooting guns and doing land warfare. And we did it till like 1 o'clock in the fucking morning. Most everybody go to sleep. I didn't go to sleep. I was a gym. I worked out. I became obsessed with being the best motherfucker that God created. Am I right? I don't care. I believe it. And I'm trying to tell them, once you become obsessed with something, it's okay to be unbalanced for a while. It's okay. All this stuff is like, to be the best in the world at what you do. It's not being an ACL, people. The best at what you do, you have to be unbalanced to find every bit of fucking energy and strength that you have to pull it off. Then you get balanced once you become great. People don't know how to turn their minds on. People don't know about sports and laws, why I say it, why I start yelling. I'm trying to activate something. I'm trying to activate passion. One, hunger, the dog, the savage. That motherfucker's falling asleep. When I show up when I'm in great shape, I can wake that savage beast up. You gotta learn yourself. Know how to wake yourself up. But if you don't show up in the best shape of your mind is worthless to you, so your savage is fucking dead. Where do you stop? Because you're lazy. Because your mind get bad grades in school. It doesn't bother you enough to be mediocre, to be average, to sit around and watch people do great things. You don't like it. So there's your answer. Your answer is you don't care enough about yourself, so you don't stay in the fight. A lot of us who are negative people, all we do is project how we feel on other people. So what happens is there's a lot of negative people walking on planet Earth who are afraid to try. Because a lot of people are very negative in this world. So we are afraid to fail. Why? I told you, man. Just need to try it. Just chill out, relax. Why are you so crazy? Why are you so obsessed? So all that stuff drives the quitting mind, I call it. The mind wants to quit. The mind's tired. How you gain mental toughness, how you become the person you want to be, is constantly facing the things that you don't want to face. If you constantly run away from things that you don't want to face, how is there growth? I tell you right now, the more things you can do to get outside that zone makes you feel good. The stronger your mind's gonna get. It starts getting used to doing shit like this. It's not fun. My mind is used to it. Everybody's in their bed, sleep, dreading that it's a Monday, hate it's a Monday, and I'm loving it. I'm loving that when everybody's getting weaker, I'm getting stronger. It's not about the running, the swimming, the push-ups, the sit-ups. It's about what those things do for your mentality. You don't get better on a daggone couch. You get better by coming out here and getting the fuck after every daggone day. Self-discipline is everything. And if you don't have it, I'll look at you like I know you're capable of more. It's not discipline so much for me. It's all on you. It's all on you. The self part is what's big. We need someone to help hold people accountable. Fuck that shit, man. I know why you hate me. You hate me because you're probably in the bed right now. You're probably an underachiever. You're probably somebody who doesn't want to do anything with your life. So I make you question everything about yourself. So I'm going to continue making you question yourself by coming out here and being even more successful. I'm going to fail. I'm going to fucking fail. I'm going to fucking fail. I'm going to fucking fail. And I won't succeed. I don't give a fuck. I'm a warrior. Period. This white guy's been in a lot more combat than me. A warrior is not always that. A warrior is a motherfucker who says, hey, I'm here again today. I'm here again tomorrow. I'm going to be here the next day. I'm 50 years old and I'm still fucking after it. We're all different equations. We all come from out of the story. We all have to strengthen our mind to figure out our own equation. Once you figure out your own equation in life, you can then start picking away at how to be better. But you first have to figure out your equation. Once you figure that out, man, you can do anything. And if you can build that self, you can build that total accountability in oneself. And it's not about being selfish. I'm trying to create a better me. So hopefully people who are hearing this are taking it the right way. They can say, I can run a mile. Anybody running 205 fucking miles, doing 4,000 beats and say, hey, about a lot of shit. Shit doesn't matter. I want you to see how fucking far you can go. And that's all it's about, yourself. We can't quit. We gotta figure out why you are this pussy. Why are you this pussy, man? What's wrong with you? What's going on here? Our minds are very similar to circuit breakers. When they blow, you gotta figure out what it is. Sometimes you just added too much to your fucking plate. Go back in your mind and figure it out. Get up. You go run. You swim, you go swim. Don't take your bed, you make your bed. You don't want to clean your house, you clean your house. You don't want to study, you fucking study. That's how you start to callous your mind. That's the game, my life. You say you're gonna wake up at 4 o'clock in the fucking morning to go run? Wake up at 4 o'clock it's gonna suck. It's not gonna be fun. Do something that sucks every single day of your life. That's how you grow. Embrace the suck. One thing in life is sure. Don't look at you more than yourself. If you're out here looking for someone to help you out, you ain't helping yourself out. It never made. Would help me out when I was back depressed and shit. I got it in my mind. I wasn't the only motherfucker going through a hard time. Fat guy, fresh guy. Keep this in your head. In my corner, there's only a cup man and water. There ain't no fucking towel. So if shit gets hard for me, I can't throw that fucking ring. I never found peace until I got real sick. And you find peace by clarity. And there's no clarity when there's noise. There's always a schedule in front of you to keep grinding at it. So my schedule's always there. I'm still alive. If I'm still alive, I'm going to grind until I'm dead. But in that grinding schedule, you have to have a point in there where it's okay, at 12 o'clock, reset the tactical vantage and look and see where you're at. At this new vantage point, stop for a second and survey the field. Most days in life when I wake up, I'm not motivated, hungry, or driven. I'm committed to myself, the best version of myself. Most of us looking for is this special fucking feeling of, oh, I feel great this morning. I'm gonna get out of bed and get a quick 5 hours and go to the gym. You need help, one. Not good enough. You gotta work harder. You haven't good enough time in. It's that voice you wanna run away from. It's that voice you don't wanna hear. But guess what? It's that voice you need to listen to. Stay hard. Listen to the whisper. If you're going to suffer and suffer, go back in the grind. That internal dialogue you have with yourself and your misery, and you're uncomfortable, it's a real, scary, unfiltered, no-lying dialogue between you and yourself. And people know exactly what I'm talking about when you're in a bad spot in life and your mind is saying all kind of shit. That's who you really are. That's the real you. That's where the growth happens. When you're able to stay in that moment and talk yourself back into the suck of whatever you're going through, and you start stripping those layers away, and just strip those layers away, you're building calluses over top of shit. I'm committed to myself, the best version of myself. Most of us looking for is a special fucking feeling of, oh, I feel great this morning. I'm gonna get out of bed and get a quick 5 hours and go to the gym. You need help, one. Not good enough. You gotta work harder. You haven't good enough time in. It's that voice you wanna run away from. It's that voice you don't wanna hear. But guess what? It's that voice you need to listen to. Stay hard. Listen to the whisper. If you're going to suffer and suffer, go back in the grind. That internal dialogue you have with yourself and your misery and you're uncomfortable, it's a real, scary, unfiltered, no-lying dialogue between you and yourself. And people know exactly what I'm talking about when when you're in a bad spot in life and your mind is saying all kind of shit, that's who you really are. That's the real you. That's where the growth happens. When you're able to stay in that moment and talk to yourself back into the suck of whatever you're going through, and you start stripping those layers away, but as you're stripping those layers away, you're building calluses over top of shit in your mind. That's when the growth starts to happen. It's when you have to force yourself to stay in it. You can't leave. And I'm 50 years old. Okay? I've been 51 eventually. When you live 50 years, what happens is it takes about a good 10 years of people telling you and you experience enough of life is. The highs and the lows of life. I can pack that one up in 80-some hours, and I can get it. So the knowledge comes from the experience, not the race. It's not about the race. So like I said, like my life, if I were to take the first 10 years, from 20 to 30, I learned a lot. All I've done with these races is I condense 10 years into 80-some hours. That makes sense? Yeah. Are you sure it makes sense? Yeah. The highs and lows you experience in a race like this, man, it gives you a lifetime knowledge. And people get it on with they don't understand it. And that's fine. But these people aren't trying to win the race. Some are. People are trying to find themselves. And the answers they get on the other side of this journey, they can only get it by doing some shit like this. Suffering, my friend, suffering makes you a very novel person. Suffering, if you know how to do it without making it out to be like, I'm not talking about you have to go through cancer. I guarantee one thing, man, I'll make you a better motherfucker. Mentally, if you look at it the right way, everything I went through in my life, every bad thing I went through in my life, the 2 heart surgeries, all the name calling, everything I went through. You learn how to flip that on top of his head and say, hang on, there's so much power in this thing. And if you look at life as it is a trial ground, a testing ground for where you need to belong, where you need to go. Suffering is a fact of life. And if you look at suffering right, it's a great tool to callous your mind. If you look at it as suffering, moments being, this is bullshit, God, kicking rocks. If you look at it like, okay, test it now. I get it. Whenever I'm being like depressed, I go through depressed, oh, hang on. I'm getting tested. So you have to be aware of all the signals, signs that are being given to you from the work. One of them is if you feel bad, you're being tested. How are you going to perform under that? And that's suffering's a part of life. All this came from here. It came from me putting myself on the hot seat. And then saying, okay, wow. Okay, 297, this is where my mind was at. To get to 187, this is where my mind was to be, to go through 3 helmets, to run 405 miles, to do 4,030 pulls. And I'm a natural born fat guy. You know, I was born 175. I gained 125 pounds. I was lazy. That's who I am. My guys sit back, watch TV, and eat pizza. Like everybody. Like everybody. So that's the mama voice. And for a guy that never had that, like me, I love my mom, but she was working. All I crave is that mama voice. Please, love David. Love David. That voice got me 297 pounds. Whatever I wanted, I did. And that's where I started seeing myself get further and further away from my true self. And your true self is found, honestly, in that very uncomfortable zone. Everybody is Groundhog Day again for David Goggins. Pan it down here. You see about 3 o'clock in the morning. There's not a car or a person inside. Pan over here. It's the same thing. Not a car or a person inside. People want to know where I find my strength at, where I get my strength. I get it from a lot of places. But right now, this morning, I'm getting it from, there's not a mother that's up. There's not a car, there's not a person. Everybody's in their bed, sleep, dread, medicine Monday, angels in Monday. And I'm loving it. I'm learning that where everybody's getting weaker, I'm getting stronger. It's not about the running, the swimming, the push-ups, the sit-ups. It's about what those things do for your mentality. You don't get better on a daggone couch. You get better by coming out here and getting after it every daggone day. And all I knew back then was hard work. The only way anything gets accomplished. That's all I heard back in those days. You gotta work hard. You gotta work hard. I'm not getting how to, I can't get this paragraph. I can't remember what this paragraph the pastor was tested in the military. Read it again. Still not getting it. Read it again. When you're not getting it, write it out. And that's how I started learning. Okay, well, I can't. I gotta write out everything I do. And then write it out again. Write it out again. And guess what happened? I got it. I got it. I can't swim. Negative point. Go back again. Can't swim. Go back again. Go back again. Go back again. I got it. I realized keep going back and going back and going back until the shit just becomes, your mind will say, okay, we're going to figure it out. Find a way. Because he is not going to stop. It's not like, I'm going to try one more time. No. It's just like, when I'm thought goes off, going back. I can't read right, going back. I gave myself no way out, and my mind realized that. It's okay. We're going to adapt and overcome now. There always has to be a new norm. So one thing we don't do is we don't have a new norm. My new norm is you get up every morning at 4 o'clock and you suck. This is your new norm. That became my new life. Most people want to get out of it. I said, no, this is your new life. This is who you are. Your new norm is you wake up and you suffer. And I started realizing if that's my mentality, this shit ain't hard anymore. And I was in the Navy SEAL training. Well, how are you there for 18 months? The program is only 6 months long. You were in 3 companies in 1 year. No one's ever done that. How did you do that? I talk about the new norm. When I lived in a $7 a month place when I was growing up for a short period of time, I knew that was my norm. Once we moved out of that place, we moved to a $236 a month place. I was like, shit, I never want to go back to that little piece of shit. But if you go back to that $7 a month place, and you realize this is where I live, so I got it. Your mind says, Roger that, this is home. So when I was going through Navy SEAL training for 18 months, and going back to all the hard parts over again, I thought, myself, after the first time, I knew it was going to be a long journey there. My body was breaking down. It was just how it was going on. I said, you know what, this is my new norm. So my mind said, it's like going to work. Like if you go to work with your suit tie on, I go into suffering every day. Every day, suffering, being broken, duct tape my feet up, stress fracture, shin splits, being broken. This is my new norm. And your mind says, if we're not broken, this ain't normal. We gotta be broken. So then the mind starts to get tougher and tougher and more accountable. But how'd you run on broken feet? Broken shins. My mind knew this is how we operate. We're Navy SEAL training. This is what we are. I became hell. And that became my new norm. I gave myself no way out. There was nothing outside these walls of hell. Nothing. I loved God. But for a short period of time, I became the devil. Because that was hell. I became the boss, the owner, the CEO of Navy SEAL training. That was my mindset. And that's how you get through things. You put yourself, you immerse yourself wherever it is, you become that. You become that. You give yourself no way out. I went through training, 100-mile races, 200-mile races, pull records. It wasn't a physical thing I had. I was literally broken. At the start line of everything I did, including Navy SEAL training, radio school, everything I did in the military, I didn't sit back and say, hey man, so no one knew. I realized how the brain works. I figured out how the brain works. I'm a scared kid, and that's what gives me so much power. I had no foundation, and I built this of just researching the mind. The feeling you get is basically invincibility. you realize that you can't do it all the time. When you need to do it, I know I can go to a place that I can live in. And when you know that you can run on broken legs, and you can do certain things that a lot of people can do, but they're not willing to do. This power, this sympathetic nervous system of fight or flight, and you're fighting. It gives you this charge of energy of when you're sitting there at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're duct taping your feet up because you're broken. And you're doing it by yourself, and you're going through arguably one of the hardest training in the world. And these guys, most of them are healthy, and you're going through broken, and you already at a disadvantage, but you're still there. You can feed into that and tap into that for a lot of power. But if you look at it, well, I'm broken, man. Like, I'm not going to make it. But if you look at it as, man, I'm broken and I'm still healing. And I'm fighting. I'm going to find a way to get through this. Because I have no other place to go. It gives you a lot of power. Look at that feeling. Let me tell you one thing, it ain't going to come. You have to learn to do what you don't want to do. Learn to bring that savage mentality out of yourself. The animalistic motherfucker. You think a savage gives a fuck about how he feels or how she feels? Then just do it. Learn to be your best self when you're least motivated. If you lack talent, you can't sit back and say, I'll start in half an hour. I can't do that. I gotta start now. And after I get back from starting, I gotta start again. And when I get done with that run or that study session, it's put good up and back again. Because repetition is what taught me everything. So you can honestly outlive anything. Yet there's a lot of things we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be our fucking best. We're supposed to get a good. We're supposed to work out. We're supposed to be a good. We're supposed to do all these fucking things that people are now looking for a fucking coming back. Life isn't fair. We have to understand that. It shouldn't be fair. It's a trial grounds, a testing grounds. It's built to make us harder. It's built to make us as strong as we can, to test us, to drive us. So, mentality is the only thing that gets us through life. I was an underdog. We are all underdogs in life. Even the baddest person in the world should think that way. So you should always have a never arrive mentality. And the can't hurt mentality is no matter where you come from, the sewer, or wherever you think you're from. When I got on the sewer, I got to the road and looked around and said, can't hurt me. Look, you can't even have a conversation with somebody nowadays because their minds are so out of it. Check it out. So, I'm like, you're like, hey, yeah, So they're like looking at you and their phone and they're here. And then as you have a serious conversation, an enlightening conversation, they then come out of nowhere and say, hey, did you hear about Trump? You're like, what the fuck is your problem, man? You can't hold a fucking attention span for longer than 15 seconds. Yeah. That's why you're not successful. There has to be something so deep in you that drives you so much. What really does it for me is I know what we're capable of. And I know that most human beings aren't willing to go where I am. And that's a very, very dangerous thing. I'm not saying everybody has talent. Sure. It's not a talent. It's just realizing that we stop way short of our true potential. So, through my life, I realized these things. Your best work hasn't come when you're least motivated. Where does that come from? It comes from basically, I had to stop thinking normal. I had to stop thinking normal. I can no longer be a common man walking around through a common place. But no one taught me this stuff. I'm like, I paid a trainer to come train me, 10 credits that come down and miracle my